moving on. So this one here is the muscle task. So that is a homework. And it is just, the homework says to use red biro contouring to create a complex muscle study. So on the actual task itself, which is here, it said about layering, so building up as a wash. So you would put your red wash down and then work into it on top of it with your biro, your red pencil, your white pencil, building up those layers. Now you could do kind of a section of this bigger. You could do this exact drawing. If you printed that off A4 and then did the transfer technique, transferred the image, and then you would do all the shading and things in the middle. But where you put your wash down first, there's not so much that you have to do with your biro because you've got that under layer down, and that's really important for your time management. So you see here I just did the section of the arm, I put the wash down, and then I've worked in with a black biro, red biro, white pen, and this is all about contouring. So this is about making things look round. So I did these first and then cut them into circles, so they don't exactly work, but it's this kind of thing here where you're bringing things around to emphasize the shape of it. Reference to Da Vinci in my sketchbook. Down here I've just done some little colour swatches whilst I have my palette out. I thought that makes sense to do that. My background, really simple, got red paint like that, got a piece of card, cut a zigzag and then just pulled it across, and it gave me these lines which are quite effective for the muscles. Just cut out the title, really simple, and then a little reference image in a circle to mimic that. So it didn't take me long, this one. And then as an addition, I've used my reference here to do my own kind of version of it, which I need to work into more. It's not finished, I need to work into the face. This here is some wool that people use for felting. I don't know if you've heard of the felting technique, but it works really well. Again, if I thought about it more, I would have put it just where I wanted it, but I was just trying stuff out in my sketchbook, and it doesn't have to be fully resolved in your book. Maybe I'll do a bigger piece outside of my book to push it forward a bit. This here is some string that I've laid down and then I've spray painted over the top, took the string away, and again I get these really lovely lines. So I'm taking inspiration from this, but I'm not copying it directly. I'm playing around with my own ideas, my own media, and it's up to you to explore what media can do and what you can find to create these effects. It could be anything. It could be string, it could be wool, it could be that you've got a zigzag tool at home that you can create that. It's up to you to start thinking about how can I create that look, and then we'll get into kind of context and meaning a bit later. So moving on to your hands, I think that's after this. There's an artist link there that you will do, and then I think there was a skeleton drawing that you're going to do in class, and then we're moving on to hands. I might have had this in a slightly different order because I was trying to work things out as we go. Now the task here is to use media to draw hands and feet. Now again, transfer technique, really simple. Get that image down on your page. All I've done here is a wash behind and then just a little bit of paint here and there, not touch that a great deal. This one here, really blocked in that background with some inks, and then I'm just using the contour technique that I learnt from previously with my white pencil and adding that in. This one here, yes, painting. Now I've only painted this much of it. Do I need to finish the whole thing? Not sure I do. Probably do a bit more here, but the examiner or the moderator can see, yeah, they've got the skills. Does it need to be finished? It's up to me as the artist to decide whether I need to have this completely finished, or have I mastered that technique and now I'm going to try it out on a bigger painting. And here again I've just kept my colour palette down here. Where are we? There we are. Just doing some dashes, keeping those colour palettes, and I've decided I really like those colours rather than these blues. Annotation of course would be needed to add here. The skeleton drawing, again, we'll do that in class. Ron Muick is a photography homework, so I thought it would be quite nice for you just to do some headshots and maybe cut the heads out and stick them on a white background, play around with that idea. Does it make it look into a sculpture in some way, and maybe trying to do some painting close-ups of Ron Muick's actual sculptures and of your photographs too. That's an idea there. Then we've got, you had to choose between the two artists, and I chose this Nunzo Pachi. And I will do a video in a minute of how to shade really effectively. This here is actually a photocopy of Year 10s, and I cut it out and stuck it in my book. I've had this idea of sticking actual flowers into my sketchbook. So again, if you watch this video, you know, the first week, then you might start thinking, right, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to start prepping my leaves now. And I literally just got some leaves from the garden, 2 bits of cardboard, stuck them together, put a pile of books on top of them, left them for about a week in this heat, and they dried out really quickly. You can do all sorts with these as well. You can like paint onto them and then print with them. My background is actually some things that I found from the garden, and then I just lay them down and spray paint and then lift them off, and you get that negative space that I talked to you about with the mussels. Loads of different things here, and I will show you as much of this as I can, but obviously there's a limited amount of time in lessons, that's why I'm making this video. You will then have a facial features page. Now obviously I'm showing you a level 9 standard here. This is what we're looking at here. So this sort of thing in your booklet here is what I would hope for from yourselves. Pencil, you know how to do pencils. We saw those lovely Year 8 eyes. I know that you can do it. That took them an hour and a half. And it was amazing eyes that they did for their exam, so I know that you can do it because you're in Year 10. And a series of those. Not everyone has to be superb. They all have to be superb, but not so refined. You might just do a line one. You might do a colour pencil one. I mean, I love this kind of idea of things being half finished and little illustrations and dribbles, and if it goes wrong, does it matter? You just put a blob of ink over it. It's a sketchbook, it's a working document. These images here you can print off and work from yourself if you want. So here I've got a series, and again you'll see this in class anyway. We've got a painting. I use Pinterest a lot to get inspiration and get ideas, so please do go and use that anatomy board or use Pinterest of your own. And then all the while keeping my little colour palettes here, just deciding what I like and what I don't like. This is all building up towards an outcome. Yes, the sketchbook is a lovely thing and we have a good old time in it, but at the end of the day, we're looking to create a piece of artwork that is impactful, meaningful, and, you know, of a high standard. That's something random I was just having a go at. So, did a couple more kind of eye studies there. Finally, to finish off this project, I would like you to do a portrait at the end. Now, there are some fantastic ideas here. This artist here, Colin Chillag, wonderful portraits. Again, bits missing, and that could give you all sorts of ideas about identity or memory loss or missing parts of who you are or who you're about to become. It could be like the holes in society or the gaps in your life. It could mean a whole bunch of things. He actually got his child to draw over the top of one of his portraits. That's what that one is. I love the colour palette being left there as well, having a play around with kind of flipping the canvas and starting again. What does that mean? What could that be about? And then we've got some ideas here of what you could do either with the portraits. So a bit of the face could be missing, revealing those muscles, using the muscle work that we did. It could reveal a bit of the skeleton, using the skeleton work that we did. It could have some fabric laid over it, or some of that felt, the wool, that we could incorporate those muscles. It could just have something like this in the background of the portraits. And as we move on, you can see that there's loads of different ideas here that I would like you to choose and create one. In terms of size, I'm not too worried, as long as it's bigger than A3. So A3 is the size of your sketchbook. A3 or bigger. Bigger is sometimes a bit more impactful, but if you were to do something like this, A3, it would be really striking. And the thing with an A3 portrait done to a high standard is we can build upon it as well. Some of these lines could come off of the canvas with string and attach to flies or sums, and we can always expand something out. But doing something big and then getting that really high detail takes time. Now, if you're willing to come back lunchtimes, then go large. Why not? May as well. So this is my portrait here. I just found a picture off of the internet of somebody. It'd be better, obviously, if you use your own photographs, which you would have taken for your Ron Muick work. So that's all ready for you to go. It's all linking into that previous work. And I've just literally sketched this out from the whiteboard. I didn't even draw it freehand. I'm telling you the whole truth here. So again, one lunchtime, pop along, get it drawn up, and then you're ready to shade or paint or whatever it is you want to do from what you've done previously. And I think that is everything. That's all random stuff. That is everything for the first term. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot to do, but you can absolutely do it. So I hope that that's helped, and I hope that that's explained the first booklet, and the more you get started now, the better, really, and the more you put yourself in a good position before you get to the Christmas holidays. You'll have the Christmas holidays as well to do this. Okay, thank you. I will do a little video on some shading for you to have a look at, and I'll also do a video on how to make these textures that you can see in my sketchbook that you're probably all thinking, why does her sketchbook look like that? Mine's just white and I want those lovely backgrounds. So I will do a little kind of show of how I've done some of these things in my sketchbook as well. Okay, thanks very much, guys. Look forward to seeing you.